Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about one version of our double kettlebell floor press. Kettlebell training tends to be treated as strength training in the majority of the time it's trained in the Western world. The big three of strength training or power training are, of course, our deadlift, our squat, and our bench press done with a barbell. Our kettlebell equivalents of that would be like a swing, a squat, a clean and press, and a Turkish get-up. We normally coach Turkish get-ups for people first because a Turkish get-up is really a combination of 8 moves, and it tends to integrate strength for most people very effectively. It teaches people how to get up off the ground, which is a fundamental human skill. We have lots of videos on Turkish get-ups. Go watch them. At certain points in training, it is fun to go back to a version of a chest press, but we don't have a bench, we don't have a bar. How are we gonna do it? There is a single arm kettlebell version of this, which we're gonna show first, and then we're gonna show just the double kettlebell version of this. The good part about a kettlebell floor press is that it's much harder to hurt yourself doing it than it is when doing something like a barbell bench press. The problem with a barbell bench press is people contract their elbows below the line of their shoulder and they bring the bar all the way down to their chest. Great exercise if your scap could move. So there's a couple fixes for that. The problem with that is that as the arm tracks down and back, the bench tends to restrict the way the scapula are supposed to move, and it messes with the shoulder, which is why the majority of the gym-going population of North America has shoulder injuries right here. The heavier the lift, the more they force that joint capsule open, and it causes them a lot of problems. That's why you're always seeing guys in the gym with scars right here. It's because they've had shoulder surgery to try and fix what happened to them during bench press. A couple of things you could do. You could restrict the range of movement of the bench press, or you could do it on a ball. In a previous video, the single arm chest press sexy maker video that we made, we talked about the single arm version of that press done on a ball. It's a very simple version, but oftentimes if you're out in the real world, you don't have an exercise ball lying around, so let's do the floor version. In the floor version, we are going to start with our kettlebell up, hold it with our second hand, get down any way we want. You will notice that this is one of the movements of a Turkish get-up. Elbow touches ground, forearm stays vertical, wrist stays flat, press straight up until you achieve lockout, and then bring it back down to the ground and roll it off. The great thing about the floor chest press is that your elbow cannot track below the line of your shoulder, so just by doing a floor press, you get rid of a lot of the injuries associated with chest pressing. For our double version of this exercise, we are going to start from our seated position. We're going to get 2 hands in, palms face up. Corner of your hand goes into the corner of the kettlebell, just like it does for every other press. We are going to lift up with our legs, sit back, don't drop it on your face. Our elbows are on the ground, arms at 45-degree angle. Press all the way up to lockout, bring it all the way back down. Press all the way up to lockout, bring it all the way back down. If you want to make it a little bit more gymmy, then you would press up, squeeze them together, and clack the handles. Open them up, bring them back down. You can lift your elbows up higher to the level of your shoulder, increasing the angle between your body and the elbow, but it doesn't really matter that much. Kettlebells are going to encourage you to have this flat line and probably have your arm at about 45-degree angle. So let's say that that's 90, 45, and 0 degrees. Think about the double kettlebell press as being about the 45-degree angle on both sides, pressing all the way up to lockout, rotating the hands towards the center, externally rotating, and bringing back down. It's a simple exercise. You can treat this one any way you want. If you have really heavy weights, then you can treat it like strength training. Most people don't have kettlebells that are so heavy that they need to treat this like strength training. You're isolating out just one movement out of a greater movement like a Turkish get-up, and you can start pushing this one for more reps. Treat it like a gym bench press, and you could do any strategy you want. It could be a volume cycle where you build up your load over time, or it could be just get 2 kettlebells, press until failure, which I tell people almost never to do, and then wait 2 to 3 minutes and then do that 3 or 4 times. That's kind of how you would treat it as a gym exercise. I will train an exercise like this to failure because there's very little risk of you dropping on your face or injuring yourself. You tend not to train things like snatches to failure because you're swinging the weight, and if you fail, that means your grip's gonna fail probably first and the weight's gonna fly away from you and destroy something important that you probably don't wanna destroy. An exercise like this with a limited range of movement is probably safe for most people to push towards a failure strategy. You would put this at the end of your workout after absolutely everything else because we want to put failure after all the technical stuff that we do.